Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. You're watching Live Day Trading with me, Speculator Seth. It is Friday the 20th. Is it the 20th? It's the 20th. If you have not already, click that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It's much easier to find the stream if you hit the bell icon. And we got GDP today, so maybe a little bit of fun today. I am planning on streaming on Monday. I'll tell you a little bit later what we're going to do on Monday, because the market's probably going to be really quiet. But I think I've got some ideas about what we can do on Monday. Blah. Yeah, it's fun day. I said fun day. I meant to say Monday, but you know what? It's fun day now. But I have some ideas on maybe that would make it worth your while to come in on Monday. So yeah, well, let's go and look at where the markets are at here. You can see here the 10-year Treasury came back. So yesterday, off of the Philly Fed manufacturing number, they really pushed up. And I mean, they really pushed up. This move right here was kind of surprising. And then they pushed up even higher much later in the session. And I was quite surprised at the move, but then it did retrace quite a bit before the end of the day. And then overnight, the Europeans sold it again. Now it's retracing. We'll see what happens, but it's probably very dependent on the GDP news. In the E-mini, they mostly, went up. And who knows? We might be getting an end of year rally here, so they could just be wanting to go. I'm gonna come over here. On an hourly basis, we're kind of trailing off, maybe an inside bar here. So, how are you guys today? We've got a couple of different things that we could talk about here. Actually, I want to wait for just a second more. I'm having a problem. Okay, cool. This chart wasn't coming back up. I was like, what the heck? But I guess it was just still loading. I didn't start my charts as early as I forgot to start them. So I don't have the level 2 from the past little bit, Anyways, debate. Well, let's talk about the debate. First thing, right? So there was a Democrat debate yesterday. Nothing too interesting as usual. But there were two takeaways that I got. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, so I'm kind of judging off of the key moments. Ooh, why are we moving up? We're moving up. I don't see any news, so I'm not quite sure why it's moving. What are we looking for the GDP news? Final GDP quarter over quarter. This is for third quarter, right? So they're looking for, a reading of 2.1 with the previous reading of 2.1. Now, anyways, so my two takeaways from the debate, if I can. The first one is they really went after Buttigieg. And it doesn't look like they hit any kind of landing blows. It's quickly looking like the Buttigieg is becoming the Mitt Romney of the debate, in that everybody's going after him and they just kind of, nobody ever lands a solid blow. Because Buttigieg is well-spoken. It's really hard to trip him up. I mean, the way that you really defeat somebody in a debate like that is you go after them and they make a big slip-up. Like Rick Perry or Marco Rubio when he repeated himself. It was like they made a gaffe. I don't think that they did that to Buttigieg. Now, Elizabeth Warren made a mistake, actually, but everybody seems to think that it was this brilliant move. Let's see here. on the Daily Show, they showed some clips of Buttigieg or whatever his name versus the other candidates. It was pretty fun. That's interesting. Yeah, so here's the thing with Elizabeth Warren is they asked her about her age. And she said she would be the youngest woman president ever elected. And everybody's like, oh, that's so brilliant. She dodged the question and it's so clever and all of these things. No, it was a dumb response. And here's why. Because it was too good of a response, really. Now everybody in the media is talking about how old Elizabeth Warren is. You don't want voters to be talking about how old you are, Liz. So it seems like a good thing right now, and maybe some Democrats will be like, oh, she's so smart, maybe I should vote for her. But in the long run, it just highlights the age. Elizabeth Warren, probably people are going to talk about Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders as well at their age. The advantage Buttigieg, and I still have my money on Buttigieg. So yeah, actually, let's go and look at the predicted markets and see if there was any changes there. Predicted.org. Presidential debate. Predict now. Bernie Sanders got the most time. No Dem said billionaire. It's like they intentionally don't. They watch these markets and intentionally don't say those words or something. Well, that doesn't help too much. Nominee, Democratic nominee. Let's look here. Last 24 hours. Was there any movement here? We'll add these people in. We'll add Yang. Yang must not have had a very good debate. They're down just a cent. And who's this? Sanders up a cent. Biden down. Buttigieg and Warren flat. Well, that's just in the past hour. We should go back to the debate. It looks like Warren and Buttigieg. I don't know. It's hard to read that one. It looks like they actually. Warren got hurt the most. But just a lot of sideways movement, to be honest. Buttigieg should hire me as an advisor. He should counter it. Today, I identify myself as a woman, and therefore, I would be the youngest woman president. Yeah, right. Like he would say something like that. Good grief. Okay, well, we got 5 minutes to the news. Oh, you know what? There was something else that I wanted to check with on Predict It. The question, this whole thing, so Nancy is going through with the whole withholding articles of impeachment. So it sounds like he won't, if Donald Trump gets impeached, it's not going to be until next year. And some scholars are saying that until the House sends over the articles of impeachment to the Senate, he's not impeached. So I'm running with that one. He's not impeached yet. He's not impeached until they send the articles over. So the question was, so here's President Trump. How many impeachment articles? The question is, was there a market about will Donald Trump be impeached before the end of the year? There was, will he be president? Will he complete his first term? That actually it's 15%. No, that's funny. Pardons. Maybe let's do a search. Impeach. Interesting. So they maybe they had a market like that and they closed it. I don't know. Their base would actually believe it and encourage him on doing so. Yeah, no, I think they would recognize that troll. Well, man, they don't have it. Interesting. Well, so Donald Trump's not actually impeached, as far as I could tell. And as we said yesterday, that's a dumb idea. I'm telling you what, I have been pretty. I haven't been engaging with the left past couple of weeks. It's just been like there's nothing really out there interesting enough to talk to people about. But I did wade into an article yesterday because it had to do with markets, and they were saying Donald Trump claimed that markets would dip if he was impeached, and they haven't. And I'm like, well, when he said that, it was implied that they would remove him from office, like impeached meant removed from office. So, of course, because he's not going to be removed from office, the market doesn't care. But if he got removed from office, or let's say anything happened that made it seem that it was likely that they would remove him from office, make no mistake about it, the markets would drop. No question in my mind. No question in my mind. And all of these people on Reddit were like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, take the other side of a trade with me then. Like, if he gets impeached, if he gets removed from office, I go short, e-mini contracts, and you go long e-mini contracts. Like, that's easy. Because honestly, in a situation like that, the only question in that trade is, can I get in early enough? And if you have a deal with somebody to, here's the price before the news, and then you take opposite sides of it no matter what, man, come on. Easy trade. But I don't think that any of them are going to take me up on it. They're like, there's no way that he'll follow up on his end of the bargain. And I'm like, find a neutral third party, guys. Like, I'll make a YouTube video about it and everything. It would be great. I would love, that would be an easy trade. Unfortunately, probably he's not going to get impeached. Okay, so here comes the news. And nothing, huh? So that must mean that it came in as expected? Man, oh man, oh man. Wait, let me just double check here. Yep, 2.1. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, folks. Well, we're going to have a really boring session today. We could have some movement when the E-mini opens. I mean, the E-mini is looking really positive. We could still have an okay move. But I think we should, maybe we should look at some other things. So I'm wondering if we've been talking with John, and maybe we can do a little bit of this programming with that. Let's see. Reviews of woke movies Star Wars are already awful, as I mentioned before. Is it actually woke, though? I didn't hear anything about it being quote-unquote woke. Mostly they just said they tried to stick... So what is in the movie that makes it woke? I'd like to know. Let's see here. I don't really see anything in it. The Force is female. Oh, okay. Whatever. You know what's funny? You know what I think is funny, if I could segue for a second? Because we were talking about cats. We're like, well, The Force Awakens looks like it's terrible. Maybe people will go and see Cats. Nope. It's got a worse score on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's double check. Let's see here. Rotten Tomatoes. There's a bit of volume coming in here. Okay. So The Rise of Skywalker got 58%. Cats got 20. 20. Can't believe that. What are they saying? What are they saying? More info. Cats is terrible. Watching weird-looking performers pretending to be cats while gyrating to Andrew Lloyd Webber songs. It's deliberate doggerel, it's nonsense rhymes, and for a movie audience accustomed to traits and arcs upon which they can hang their interest, it's deeply boring. Yep, it's a dog, all right. I suspect its unfathomable quality that has drawn people to cats for so long, and at least I will give Tom Harper credit. He's definitely captured that. The whole thing is so badly misbegotten that it keeps its most entertaining elements out of sight. It would be more entertaining to see frolicking YouTube kittens than this film of a musical that played better on stage. You never believe the actors in their roles. It's stilted, pretend acting, diverting your attention to inconsequential things. I will never trust Rotten Tomatoes again after Get Out. Honestly, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I trust Rotten Tomatoes just in that, they aggregate movie critic scores. The problem is that all of the movie critics tend to be a certain type of person. Get Out is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and it has a 98% score. Yeah, it's just the review audiences too stilted. Get Out trailer. Okay. And the Jordan Peele movie, that's interesting. Are they going to move the treasuries down? Okay, let's download this thing that John just sent me. It looks like it's an indicator. Cool. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Uzi Knesset says RT is a contrarian indicator, lol.
Yeah. I mean, like if the audience score and the tomato meter score are both positive, then sure. Then they tend to be on. But it's the freaking
Uzi Knesset says RT is owned by fucking Comcast. The reviews are paid for.
The reviews are all reviews from... it's like every prominent movie reviewer in every city that goes and looks at these things, and they consolidate them all together. That's where it all comes from. So the reason that the Rotten Tomatoes scores tend to be so off is that they're all these highbrow liberal people. Easy. Come on. Who makes their whole living in film? Huh? Liberal people. Of course. Oh, okay. So that Get Out is the AOC documentary?
Uzi Knesset says the AOC documentary has like a 100% critic score. Uzi Knesset says RT is a contrarian indicator, lol. Lucas says we should have bought 20 for fun.
I don't know. I'd rather be short, to be honest.
Live Action says S Futures liquidation today.
Why do you say that? You think that everybody's going to sell their futures because they don't want to be in the markets next week? I'd rather be long.
Lucas says I'd rather be tall?
No, I'd rather be long. Or are you saying you'd rather be tall? I mean, there are advantages to being tall. You know what? Something that was kind of funny the other day was on TikTok, there was this video of this girl, and she's like, why won't guys date tall women? And she goes through all of the reasons why you should date a tall guy. Like if you you should marry a tall girl rather. She's like, you know how you get these big football players and basketball players and become rich from your children's success?
IQ says GM
you marry
Alpha,
a tall woman.
S at 28 ZB.
28 ZB. So yeah, see, I would rather be short, but I don't know about 20. Anyways, and I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, because if any of us average height guys went for the tall girl, she would totally have been all down for it. No. The problem is that you want the same 6'3" person that all the other girls want, and that's only like 10% of the population. And so you have 90% of women going after that one, that 10% of guys, and guys tend to like shorter women, so the tall girl loses out. Maybe you get the tall girl and the short guy together and we can even out the hype, in the population. Because honestly, when you're a guy and you're under 5'9", it hurts. I'm 5'9". I'm like exactly average, but I have some friends.
What is tall in the US for guys?
Yeah, so 5'9" is average height. 5'10", if I didn't have back problems, I'd probably be 5'10". And 5'10", you're usually okay. But like something like 60% of men are between 5'9" and 5'11". Like it's funny that the variability is not
says,
very
I am
high.
a happy 5'6". Am I too tall?
No.
Good morning, gentlemen of day trading.
I think
Hello,
my wife is
speculator
5'6".
Seth. Harlequin says, I hate your American units.
I hate your American. Yeah. I really, you know what though? I feel like that for height, that's like the one place where I feel. Well, actually, I take that back because centimeters is a little bit finer of a measurement, and an inch is too big because I'm actually like 5'9.5", and 1 inch is actually quite a bit. But no, I have some friends that are under 5'9". So the way that it works.
Lucas says, I just converted cm to inches. I am 6'16".
If I can try and draw the distribution here. So this is 5'9", and the distribution.
Uzi Knesset says, I prefer
like
using
this.
cubits myself.
Something like this. So there's slightly more tall guys than there are short guys, but there's so many 5'9" guys that it really comes in there. So if you're one of the few guys that are like less than 5'8", then it's just like, oh, it's awful for you. I've met some friends. I remember I went to this party one time, and there was this guy that was there, and I thought, oh man, this guy is so funny. He is so funny. This is just a great guy. I, would like to hang out with this guy more often. But he was like a freaking leprechaun. I felt so bad for him. He was like 5'7". And yeah, and he was old. And he was like, he'd done all the things and everything. It's just girls didn't like the height, man. It sucks, but that's okay. He was still awesome. I mean, if he was rich, maybe he would. He wasn't rich yet. I bet.
Winstan's mom says, I dated a boy once who was very short. I felt bad changing into flats, and it was awkward at first, but he was smart, funny, and nice, and I quickly forgot.
Right? Yeah, you get over it. I mean, that's one of the things is like, if you're 5'9".
Leopold says, hi, GM.
Hey, Nicholas. If you're 5'9", women think that you're short.
Lucas says that is fine. He was probably fun to compensate his short height.
They think that you're short if you're 5'9", even though that is the statistical average and the mean and the mode and everything. But they think that because
JB
they can't
says
wear
I'm
their heels.
187.96 centimeters tall.
You Canadians. You Canadians. Okay, well, I don't know about being short 025, but that's where I would want to be in there. Maybe we get along in the E-mini.
Lucas says at JB high five. Harlequin says if you pull out this stupid Fahrenheit or gallon unit, I will boycott your stream.
What's a gallon? Oh, a gallon. Man. Yeah, the whole gallon in cups thing and how many cups equals a gallon, that I agree with that one. That one's retarded. I usually don't use
JB
that.
says that's 6 feet 2 inches for you Yanks.
Oh, you're tall.
Lucas says what about speed?
You're tall. Miles versus kilometers? Miles versus kilometers, not the one. So here's the one. The one that irks me is pounds versus
Lucas says
kilograms.
what about distance?
Listen, pounds are an inferior unit of measure. They just are. They just don't. It doesn't line up with anything useful. So yeah, I would not do pounds.
Winstan's mom says last night, Seth, I listened to my Jungian reading group. Skip Conover also has a political debate channel. I think you would enjoy his debate channel. I have not tuned in yet. Brett, Marine attorney. Uzi Knesset says forget pounds and kilograms, stones all the way.
Stones all the way. Man. Yeah, well, it's just, so like I do Olympic weightlifting, right? And Olympic weightlifting is all in kilograms, okay? And then you come over here to the United States, people in the bodybuilding community, they all lift in pounds. And pounds is just not as effective of a way of doing it. Okay, like in Olympic weightlifting, it's like, 50 pounds. Is 50 kilograms is a decent amount. 100 kilograms is a decent even number. And when you're doing it in pounds, it's like, 135 pounds or whatever. It's always a weird, you end up lifting weird numbers, and it's easy to forget what you lift in pounds, essentially. I don't know if that makes sense. But then, so we do Olympic weightlifting, everything's in kilograms.
JB says I heard a comedian who said she visited Canada and saw we were using metric. She said it would never fly in the US because it involves math.
Well, in the US they still use metrics for all the scientific stuff. That's
Lucas
the funny
says,
thing.
"Oh lol."
It's only lay people that use the imperial system. But yeah, the CrossFit guys, they use pounds. CrossFit uses pounds. And so all of the weights out there that I could buy secondhand are in pounds instead of kilograms, and it drives me crazy. Because kilograms is a better way of weighing things. You come out to nice even numbers that make sense. 80 kilograms for a guy, that's a fairly big boy. 70 kilograms average. Maybe actually a little bit below average. 75 is probably average.
Uzi Knesset says I have a crew of CrossFitters for neighbors. Literally
Really?
the worst neighbors imaginable.
Wait, why are they such terrible neighbors? Are they loud? Do they drop their weights and you can hear them? Because I want to have a garage
Lucas
gym.
says they scream a lot while training, right?
I want to have a garage gym.
Uzi Knesset says yes.
Oh, man. Well, now I'm going to feel bad. Like, I want to have a garage gym so that I don't have to travel
Harlequin
so
says
far.
yeah, measuring things in British pounds is really stupid. Uzi Knesset says because they lift weights that are too heavy for them and slam them in the driveway for hours.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm worried about being loud when I start weightlifting here in my garage. Because, when you drop the weights on the ground, there's, you're still going to hear the slam even though it's on concrete and everything.
Uzi Knesset says poor form lifting injury prone douchebags.
Yeah. But the CrossFit guys, they'll go and they'll do like clean and jerks for a set of 30. What the heck? Okay. In Olympic weightlifting, if you're doing sets of 3 clean and jerks, that is killer. That is killer. So going and doing such lightweight that you're doing 30 of them, Like, what even is the point of
Lucas
that?
says
It's
CrossFitters
stupid.
are prone to injure themselves a lot.
If
JB says I can use metric for everything except room or outdoor temperature. If someone says it's 30 degrees outside, I start looking for my coat and gloves.
So you use Fahrenheit for outdoor temperature, huh? So that's the problem with temperature is I can't convert to Celsius. What is the formula? Is there a formula for it? Let's see here. Convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. I don't know if there's an easy conversion.
Uzi Knesset says I swear to God, you can hear the weights slamming. They're across the street, one house over, and I can hear that shit in my office with all my windows closed.
Oh, I bet. So we've at my gym, because it's
Uzi
in
Knesset
somebody's
says
basement.
I hate CrossFit morons.
And the lady that lives next door really put up a fit about it. And we're
Lucas
like,
says
can't
0
hear
is the
it.
temperature at which water is frozen,
But
100 is the temperature at which it boils.
yeah,
Winstanza Mom says, hey dude, do you know where I can get a henway? What's a henway? Oh, about 2.5 pounds.
see, to me, the temperature at which water boils is useless to me. But the temperature at which you really shouldn't be going outside, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. See, that makes sense. That's a good even number that's useful to me, that I can remember. What is that in Celsius? It's like, it's funny. Celsius, the conversion is times 9/2 plus 32. So it's hard to convert in your head. But at the same time, it being 32 degrees outside, and that's when it's like too cold. Okay, not the best number, is it?
Lucas says 20 degrees is ambient. That's a good reference.
20 degrees? So that's like 72 degrees Fahrenheit?
JB says personally, yes. Fahrenheit is what I grew up using. Winstanza Mom says Fahrenheit 451, the temperature that paper burns.
You know what bothers me though? Oh man. So do you guys remember swatch time? Did you ever get swatch time? Where they divided the day into 1,000 beats? What, you didn't have minutes, it was a beat, and everything was based on sets of 10. They never really got metric time to take off.
Harlequin says Fahrenheit is worse than a war crime.
It's worse than a war crime. Man. I just think, I don't know. The place where I think the metric system has the real advantage is in distance.
Winstanza Mom says there was a brand of watches called Swatch. JB says C to F as double it and add 32 is close enough, but only works on numbers above 0.
Well, yeah. So Winstan, what happened was the Swatch is a watchmaking company, and they decided that they would try to make metric time. So you could download
Lucas
this
says at
thing.
Harlequin it sounds German and they already committed one. Lucas says joking.
Part of the mistake that they made with Swatch time, though, was that they didn't create time zones with Swatch time. So it was the same time everywhere, and that was supposed to be like a universal thing. And then you could just, you just had to know what times were what in your own time zone. Ain't nobody got time for that. You kidding me? Nobody used it. I mean, I actually downloaded their little clock and held it up, but we didn't find it useful. Like if you told somebody, okay, meet me, be back online at X Swatch time, they wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Harlequin says when we used the Just a Joke card, no one believed us.
Okay, what is the Treasury's doing there? They buying that.
Winstanza Mom says we used GMT Greenwich Mean Time in the Air Force.
Well, there you go. GMT is fine. I always forget what the conversion is. I think it's 7 hours for me.
Winstanza Mom says and I still use a 24-hour clock. It makes more sense.
Yeah, I've started to get used to using the 24-hour clock. Like on my charts, I usually have them on the 24-hour.
Lucas says Seth, weird buying. They are keeping bonds down.
Yeah, I decided to fade that one on a sim account because I got, an overextension signal. Like, look at that, 10,000 orders within a minute. It moves up a tick. Otherwise, it's really quiet all around it. That seems like an okay short opportunity, so we'll try it. I'm a little unsure about this E-mini trade that I got going here, but I mean, I took it in the right spot and everything. So, I don't know.
Lucas says could work, it's a hard read. If ZP holds at 27 and pushes higher, ZN could press as well.
Right. Well, they're probably going to battle it out a little bit. The question I have is, what is the driver for buying treasuries right now? There's some risk out there between now and the end of the year that you're trying to hedge yourselves against, guys?
Winstanzamom says Utah is minus 7 hours GMT standard, UTC minus 6 daylight savings time.
Yes.
Lucas says speculation.
I don't know. Like, I'm just not sure what they'd be speculating based off of, other than the E-mini. And guess which way the E-mini is probably going today. You saw this thing that they said that if the rally continues, this could be the largest yearly gain in like 22 years or something. It was funny because I was reading on Reddit the other day and they're like, oh yeah, stock market's basically flat since Donald Trump got elected. And I'm like, well, that was maybe true like 6 months ago. I don't know. People on Reddit, I tell you what, man, I've never met a group of people so out of touch with markets. It's crazy. Like, you can literally just go and look at what Reddit is saying and just do the opposite and make money. Ever since Donald Trump got elected, they've just been wrong every turn. Yeah, see, it kind of died down. Now the 30-year is showing a little bit of iceberging.
Live action says 3244. I believe we need to hit in S. Harlequin says speculation after reading cow entrails and using a 20-sided dice. Uzi Knesset says the smartest people on the internet are usually the dumbest people IRL.
You think so? So we were having this art. Oh my gosh. So my kids, I don't know where they get it from. I don't think they get it from their mom. I don't think that my wife is
Winstanzamom says CNN
egotistical.
Polling is saying that 76% of Americans think the economy is booming and they are doing well. That is good news for the administration and unusual numbers for agreement. JB says they're not buying treasuries. They seem to be selling them off for the last 4 months.
Right. So my kids, they have like this ego protection thing. If you say something that is an assault on their ego, they like, it really triggers them. Like, I have to be super careful about what I say. So for instance, my son, he was talking about IQ, and he was saying that he thought he was probably above average IQ. And I said, well, they did a study and they found that people that thought that they had above average IQ generally tended to have lower IQ, whereas people that thought their IQ was average were the ones that had the high IQ. And I was just kind of trying to point out to him, like, you don't really want to like brag about, oh, you had even if you know what it is, oh, I have a high IQ, because it just doesn't look good. And that's hubris, because there are a lot of things that matter other than just your IQ. But he read it as I was saying that he had low IQ. It was just so he was harboring that for a few months.
Winstanzamom says the Dunning-Kruger effect, lol.
The Dunning-Kruger effect, exactly. See, John points out 4 months of selling in ZB, 3 months of selling in CN. Yeah. No, you're right, John.
Lucas says yes, lower IQ people are less aware of what they don't know, while above average IQ are more aware of what they don't know.
So here's the thing, is that I think that we often misinterpret that study a little bit, because we read it as that the people that that people with a poor IQ just aren't self-aware or something like that. But I think that the true thing that we learned from that study is that people that try hard have a higher IQ. So if you're a person that you think that you have to put in a lot of effort to be successful because you don't think that you're as smart, your brain has to work harder, and in the end, because you exercise your brain more, you have a higher IQ. Whereas these people that think because they were born into privilege or whatever, they think that they're smarter than everybody else, and they don't try, and then they end up having a lower IQ because they don't exercise their brain. I suspect that maybe just the fact of trading might make you smarter. Just that. Yeah, so here's the question for you, John. So John was sending me some charts saying, for the past 3 months they've been selling. And that's where I've had problems, because there was, like, when we were going up, it did really well, and then when they were selling, I haven't done very well. And maybe I've taken too many longs in some respect, but then I've also, when I do go short, it just wasn't working out. But what is the driver for buying
Lucas
it right
says
now?
There's no study that corroborates that.
Well, you can't prove cause and effect, right? You're right, Lucas. But if you go back and you read the original materials and stuff for that's what the scientists seem to be trying to imply. We can look into it further, I guess.
Winstan's mom says there is fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence, and not everyone has trait intelligence or a curious nature.
Yeah.
JB says they should rename this Dunning-Kruger effect the Trump effect.
The Trump effect. Well, I'm telling you, the thing with Donald Trump is he's ADHD. No question about it. No question about it.
Harlequin says it. JB shots fired.
Here's a theory about Donald Trump, because he talks about his IQ. He's taken an IQ test and it's higher. And I think the reason that matters to him is because he's so ADHD. And I mean, honestly, he is severely ADHD.
JB says a cognitive bias in which people assess their cognitive ability as greater than it is.
He obviously has ADHD very badly, very severe. And so he probably lived his whole life with people telling him that he was stupid. And then they're like, okay, well, let's go and do an IQ test. And then it turned out, oh, he's quite smart. It's just that kind of the thing. But the place where he's been successful, the thing that I think is so interesting, is that he used real metrics in his business, and he found ways to, like, directly measure the impact of marketing and stuff, and that's how he was so successful. He does it in his campaign.
Uzi Knesset says, okay hand, I have the best IQ, okay hand, the highest in history, okay hand, believe me, okay hand, the best lol.
The best, yeah. The pauses, that's the ADHD. The pauses is the alpha waves coming in and him losing his train of thought, and that's when sometimes he'll change subjects. It's because he's ADHD. But yeah,
JB says lol at Uzi Knesset.
He does, like, A/B testing with voters. He'll tweet something, and then, have you ever noticed? Just go back and look at his history right now.
Harlequin says at Uzi Knesset the first 4-digit IQ score.
Did they break a new high there? That's good. I'm happy with this so far. In fact, we can do it right now.
Uzi Knesset says grinning, squinting face. Winstan's mom says the Christian evangelical magazine that Billy Graham started has come out against the president. What is your church saying, or do they say?
I don't think it's had anything to do with Billy Graham for a long time.
JB says his biggest problem is his train of thought has no caboose.
Yeah. So look right here.
Live Action says, I love me, I think I'm grand, went to the movies and I held my hand.
He comes in and he's retweeting people about how the Democrats impeached him, right? Notice, let's go back when he said
says, I just received notification from YouTube that you are live streaming. Everyone please hit like while I have your attention.
Oh, cool. Let's find them. There was some further ones. Okay, here we go. So here he's talking about the impeachment, right? He did 3 tweets right close to each other. Right? Why does he do that? He's A/B testing. He looks at which one gets more tweets. Look. And one clearly did. That one got 164K. That one got 86. So that was, what's the one that he's going to go? They want out. I want an immediate trial.
Says, oh Lord, tweet deck. It's like loading dog shit into a blow and blasting yourself in the face with rolling eyes.
I love TweetDeck. It's a good strategy, or it's a good way to keep up on news. Have you noticed since he tweeted that then later last night they really started to harp on he wants an immediate trial?
Winstanza Mom says if we look at PolitiFact or Where is Trump Today, we can tell what device the tweet originated from. Sometimes we see unknown.
He A/B tests. He tweets something. He'll tweet it different ways.
RFO Trader says, hey Seth, you shorted the top of the range. Nice work. Thumbs up.
Thanks, RFO.
IQ says ZB moved I extra tick to downside. Whoop whoop lol. The paint is taking long.
So I want to talk into that because RFO, I found the things that you say useful, and I get what you're saying, and I think I kind of explained this before, but let me say it again. I used to do this thing where, it would tick up, or let's say it would tick down, and I would see a strong stack. And there's a situation where when you see a strong stack like that, it can really go. But most of the time, it's a trick, and you want to take it off at that point. So I would always end up getting those signals at the end of the range, and I would, get them. So then I backed up and I said, okay, I need to be careful when the risk reward is not good. And so I started only taking trades when the risk reward really made sense. And that helped a little bit, but it still wasn't, good enough because it was just the probability. It's kind of funny, but in ZN in particular, it's always been that my probability, if I'm getting 50-55% winners, then I'm doing amazing, and otherwise I'm getting 40% and I'm doing poorly. So then I've changed to this system where I was only taking these extensions, like this one right here in ZB, in ZN, and I took it, right? That one tends to work really, really well. But then there's the other side of it, which is trying to take the break of inside bars. Like, for instance, in the E-mini, I took the break of an inside bar, which ended up with me going long kind of towards the top of the range. So I'm having this kind of, I'm kind of split between only trying to take the edges of the range and trying to take the breaks of the inside bars. And I'm not quite sure I understand which situations it's good for me to take with which one and everything like that. And I think that's one of my bigger problems right now. But I don't know. So days like yesterday, man, I felt I have no clue what's going on. Could not explain what the market was doing. So yeah. Anyways, so keep that in mind. When I take one, I have a reason for doing it, but maybe you're right that I should just care primarily about the risk reward. I don't know. Okay, so you guys said a bunch of things here.
JB says, what happened to the no politics in the room rule?
I don't know if we ever had a no politics in the room. I've definitely been talking about it less, haven't we? But we're talking about Donald Trump in particular and his own proclivities and how he tweets. I think that's really useful information, right? Because his tweets definitely affect the markets. So just remember, when he tweets something, he's usually A/B tests it. So if he says one thing that moves the markets, there's a pretty good chance that in the next hour or so that he'll do another one. Yeah?
IQ says ZB moved I extra tick to downside. Whoop whoop lol. The paint is taking long. Uzi Knesset says there's rules? Astonished face. IQ says 568 selling at 25. RFO Trader says yeah, you have to take into account context, underlying momentum, and pick your spots.
Yeah.
Harlequin says about PolitiFact, according to them Trump tells the most false statement. How do you defend that? Uzi Knesset says by understanding
I don't
that all
think you can.
politicians are corrupt liars and we're put in a position to pick the one that benefits us the most from our perspective, lol.
Ding, ding, ding. See, here's the big change that has happened in conservative philosophy and logic. I think it's almost like, I think that a lot of people on the left understand that that's happened, but they just don't like it. They want conservatives to be pushovers, and they would prefer that they go back to the way that things were. But the change that has happened is that conservatives and even evangelicals have decided that winning matters more. And they're okay with lying if they win. No question. That's the change that's happened. Yeah, politicians lie. Donald Trump lies. I think that from his perspective, a lot of the things that he's saying weren't really lies, but then PolitiFact takes it way too literally, and so they ignore with the gist of what he's saying and go purely based off of like these raw facts sort of perspective that, you know, is a world that nobody really lives in. So a lot of the things that they say that he lies about are like things that, like, who effing cares? Like this thing about the Donald Trump said the market will move down if he gets impeached, and then he's been impeached and the markets haven't moved down. Well, because obviously when he was saying it, he was talking about that the markets don't like if Donald Trump's not going to be president anymore. That's really what he's talking about, and impeachment doesn't mean he's going to be removed.
Uzi Knesset says Trump's a bloviating liar, sure. But he doesn't want to tax my income at 45% so people in Mexico can get free healthcare, lol.
Well, okay. There's a lot of things that Democrats say that I don't think that they have any intention on following through with, for what it's worth. Okay. So this is interesting. We're getting this by all of the things again, aren't we? Like, I think that I caught a good trade in the 10-year. But we only got 2 out of it.
Our FO trader says, Seth, you monitor this trade. I've noticed historically you have some decent 3 to 4 tick winners and they come back and stop you out.
Yeah, well, you know what? RFO trader, past couple of weeks, I haven't really, like, I've been doing this thing where I will take the trade in the treasury and then kind of stop watching it. Because those ones, that one's a sim order. So I don't care as much about that one. But you're right that I'll get like 4 and it comes back. I think that's one of the problems I've had is like when I've been doing well recently, I've been catching so much more than 4. And now it's like 2. Was 2 the right thing? To just take it off at 2, I'm not sure. I actually think that we could move down a little bit more than just that. How many can we go? I think that we can at least get a 1/2. So I think I can at least get the 4. So what's John got here? 60-minute bar pointing lower. So bias is the sell bias. And that's in ZB. My ZN 60-minute bar still shows positive. But maybe I have it synced up wrong. My only thing was this right here. This tick up to 35 was a short signal. So this is where I feel like my system is incomplete.
JB says also note price is trading below the Globex open also.
True. Wait. Where is it? Now I have to come over here to like a 5-minute bar. 620. Okay, there it is, right there. So in ZB, it's much more clearer than ZN. In ZN, they're pretty close to where it was. So I think we could give that a little bit of wiggle room, but I think you're right.
JB says so the daily is trading down.
It looks to me that on a cumulative delta basis
Uzi Knesset says someone throw ZB a petpo. Too much congestion right now, lol.
Are they iceberging on this side too? Like, they hit into 27 there? And look at the 5-year. 400, 700. That one is kind of like, when I see something like that, I'll usually just kind of hold it because I have no clue what it's going to do. Oh. Wait. I'll be signing our $738 billion defense spending bill. It will include 12 links parental leave, gives our troops a raise, importantly creates a space for force. Oh. So only the military gets the paid leave. I was going to say. If we could get paid maternal leave for my wife before the end of the year, that would be great. But obviously it's not going to happen. Okay.
Uzi Knesset says her job doesn't offer it? JB says that chart I gave you earlier showed quarterly, monthly, weekly and daily all trading down. Then that last chart showed daily and hourly also pointing lower.
Okay. I'm just saying it shows that in ZB, but does it show that on your ZN, or is my times off? Because on my 60-minute bar, and I'm using the right template.
Uzi Knesset says that sucks. Even the grocery store I worked at gave 6 months paid maternity leave. Confused face.
Yeah, well, I mean, from a business perspective,
why would you do anything other than sell under those conditions?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know. I mean, they did that yesterday and they bought. But there was news, of course. Well, so she's a flight attendant, right?
Live
so can you imagine?
Says Sermon, Elephant Trader on YouTube has a video, CME trading opportunities in CME Group equities and treasuries. You might like Seth.
Okay. I'll take a look at that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my wife, she's a flight attendant. Can you imagine if they gave all the flight attendants paid maternal leave? They would never, they would lose they would pay way too much money for their employees at that point. Of course, they way underpay flight attendants anyways, because they only get paid when the door of the airplane is closed, which is absolutely awful. I think that as soon as she gets to the airport, she should be on the clock, but whatever. Hey, that is a strong move in the E-mini. What's that?
JB says your hourly times are probably off. Need to set up a new trading hours template for NT8 that gives you the hourly break on the half hour.
Yeah, I think so. Wow, this one is turning out really well.
Says, Speculator Seth, have you considered both of you staying home? Mrs. Speculator Seth could run a daycare center from her home. We do this on military bases and it helps the wives who move and can't work.
Well, the only reason that it's a problem is because our income is decreased, right? She can take medical leave. And that's okay. But then she doesn't get paid as much. And that's the only reason that it matters. And that's why I've been like super cautious about money and things like that. Like I could have put more money in the account already, but I'm like, no, I'm going to wait until the baby is born and the taxes and all that sort of stuff is squared away and see where we're at, because I might need it.
JB says, so you get a 60-minute bar breaking at 9:30 Eastern Time, NYSE open, and 11:30 Eastern Time, London close.
Yeah, we'll try that, because I'm doing the 3-session template one right now. They came so close. They came so close. I wonder why was there a driver for that? There must have been some news about a particular security. They moved that in the way that they did. Actually, I think I can move this to there. I think I can actually get 32.1975. Haven't been watching that sort of a thing long enough, but I want to pay for the commission if I can. And I like the way that the treasuries are falling out there too.
JB says you can still use that one, but for the 60-minute time frame you need a different one.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because it starts at the 20. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I would like that. And then we'll do.
JB says I'll send you a copy for your rig.
Right. Where him and I are working on kind of this inside bar thing, and he's got something for some moving averages to kind of tell you the same thing, but a little bit better of like a red light, green light sort of a thing. But I think maybe we might do that after Christmas. Because like, well, you know, I might take some of those days off. I have a decent number of vacation days, but I'm usually save them up, and I'm debating whether or not to use any of them. But I do think I want to come in on Monday. Oh, so I didn't tell you guys what I was thinking about Monday. So on Monday, I was thinking that what we do is we come in. We'll still watch the markets and everything, although I think that the markets are going to be really awful on Monday.
Harlequin says Nice got my 17 ticks in crude oil. Gonna call it a day and watch The Wicher.
Good job, Harlequin. Good job. Anyways, on Monday, what I would like to do is we can get in Discord and we can have like open mic / you know, a viewer caller session sort of a thing. So we can get in Discord and we can talk, and you guys can tell me how terrible of a trader I've been this year. And I think that would be really fun, yeah? So that's what we're going to do on Monday. In fact, if this gets filled, then I go and create the event so that you guys can remember. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. They're stopping guys out. So you saw that last uptick right there was some guys getting stopped out.
Winstanza Mom says that sounds good.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I mean, there's been a couple of times where we got on Discord and I talked with a few of you guys, and it was really great. It was just like way too big of a distraction. So on a day like Monday, when the markets are just going to be absolutely dead, as like the last live stream for the year, I think would be fun. So there's quite a bit of iceberging at 0.2 So this again is like, do we take it off there? I'm not sure. Same on the E-mini. It's like, at which point do I decide that they've pushed up and they can't do it again? That one's a really hard call because we're at all-time highs. So who knows how far the E-mini can go, right? Although I would say it looks like that whoever is the iceberg at 0.2 probably is still willing to buy and maybe isn't filled yet. Almost. They're trading a lot of volume now here in the mini at 32.1850. Okay, so here's a bunch of templates that he's got. I have to remember where I think it goes in NinjaTrader 8 templates, trading hours. Yeah. Oh, almost. Thank you. Okay, so they did that again. I got swept out. That is the second time that has happened. That can't be random, is it? What do you guys think about that? You think it's just random? It's the second time now. And the first time I was like, well, that's a really wild coincidence, you know? Well, I'm happy about it. I'll tell you that much. What do you think? Should I have let it ride? Oh, you know what? Actually, getting out here is great because it's 7. It's almost 7:30. I didn't realize, man, time flies. I thought we were still closer to the top of the hour, maybe just because I haven't seen Ace yet. Maybe that's why I thought that it hadn't been the top of the hour yet. Oh, I click save over here.
Winstanza Mom says U.S. Commerce Department will publish consumer spending figures at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey will be published at the same time.
Oh, yeah, let's see here. Forex Factory. All damn big numbers at the top of the hour. Well, I don't know. So let's just take note of where we got out. 32,1875. So there's another $5 at least. Oof.
Uzi Knesset says those indices are just a rolling up, huh?
Yeah. I think that we're getting into an end of year rally mode. You know, you get this thing where they're just going to buy it no matter what.
Watching now. Will you please take a second to
hit that like button?
Winstanza Mom says hit like lol.oof.
Hey, listen, yesterday we had that trade. It was a good trade, and I got out just a second too early. And I said, you know, if I get this trade, then you guys are all going to like it, right? And we didn't get it. A couple of you guys gave it the dislike, which I thought was hilarious. But I got that one, so give me my like now. I would appreciate it. Of course, you shouldn't feel obligated to like things, but it really helps out when you do. So, what do you think? They're gonna take 02. Okay. Take it. They're not like a strong stat. Oh, they hit into it and absorb. Really? Whoa, hold on. Do they have somebody? Do they have somebody trapped here? Maybe not. Well, maybe they do, and okay. That's interesting. They got 5 more minutes. They're buying the open. I'm not quite sure what to make of that in the E-mini. I've never seen that kind of behavior before. I take that back. I remember one time, like maybe last week or the week before, they were buying into the open, and then they kind of almost sold all of that back.
JB says S looking for 3,227.75 area today for the measured move.
Oh, really? Oh, John, if it goes and does that, I'm gonna feel super FOMO. But I don't think I could get back in on any of these spots. I actually 28.75. 22.21 is right. Or is reasonable.
JB
rather.
says 3,223.00 gives them a 75% extension of yesterday's move.
Okay. Well, maybe they come back and they form another inside bar. We could take it again, I guess. I felt like on that one I wanted to just get my my target and should have let it run. I mean, normally I would let it run, but it's just been like quiet and stuff. Like I was worried about having a day like yesterday where it just sits forever, never, never. Now I'm like, oh, we could have gotten a spike on the open. I was like, oh, 5 minutes before the open, we get out. Hey, it's cool. Yeah, zero hedge is like...
Winstanza Mom says no FOMO Friday. Speculator Seth the elf on the shelf is watching. Ho ho ho.
What are they doing? What is
IQ says
causing that?
POC 27 equals ZB.
That don't make much sense. They're going to come back.
JB says the extension numbers are based off the 3,208.50 pullback that formed overnight low using yesterday's low to high for the range.
Sure. I think those are all great targets, but I just don't understand why they're moving with such force. That was like 12,000 contracts got involved there.
Live
Why?
Action says 20 handles to go to be best year in decades.
And I was kind of thinking maybe that 20 handles that they would do that next week or something. I don't know. That move was a little weird. You could see where I was starting to get to maximum FOMO and I wanted to get in, and then that's almost exactly where it turned. But I don't see... I mean, there must be like some news for a specific company or something to make it move like that. It is extremely unusual to see the E-mini move that forcefully before the open. And also, I don't think we ever saw the exit icebergs, did we?
JB says an NYSE not open yet.
Right. It's still, I mean, here it is right here. Okay. There's the open. Now are they gonna they're gonna sell on the open? Probably. Probably there's gonna be a bit of selling on the open at least. Man, look at that. 4,000?
Uzi Knesset says
number.
Stock portfolio already up a 0.50%. Nice.
That's a big number in the E-mini. 4,000 sold it? This is all deeply suspicious. Okay, so they've gone back and forth. It looks like the buyers beat that bit, and they're stacking aggressively at 32.2275. Okay, I got 3. I'm still not seeing anything come through on Twitter. What's with this? This is interesting, guys.
Uzi Knesset says market don't care about no impeachment lol. JB says 38,065 contracts traded in the 5-minute bar prior to the 9:30 open.
That's a lot, right? I mean, that's not just like a lot. That's like orders of magnitude higher than it usually is. So all of the indexes are hitting a record high. My exit looks like it was good because that price went bid again.
JB says 5 times the hourly average overnight. JB says on 1 bar. JB says 5-minute bar. Uzi Knesset says big yikes.
That volume that traded around the open at 32.22 was really a lot. It looks like that there was some guys that really trying to fade that thought that was way overdone, and they just blew right through them. I don't know. OpX sparks. Panic bid at US Open. VIX crashes. Options expiration. That must be. You have to laugh, really. It's Quad Witch Day, and that means malarkey in the markets. VIX was clubbed like a baby seal into the cash open, which sent S&P futures vertical. What happens next is all that gamma expires. Right. I'm going to post this in both of these, in both the equities and the interest rates channel.
JB says S already hit my 75% target and still running.
You should have said something when I was sitting there with my target, John. Good job, though. Wait, where did you get in at? Did you get in at the 32.15? Yeah, it was 32.15. I tell you what, though, if I had held it, I would not have had I would not have held it through all of that. I don't think I would have held it through the open. I think I would have gotten out on that first spike, so like 32.24. It does look like that they are.
IQ says, JB, can you move the ZBMKT, please?
Yes. We need your 200 lots right there, JB.
JB says 3,213.75 when it broke yesterday's high.
Oh, really? 3213.75?
JB says with a 5 lot to start.
I see it. That was even before I came in, huh?
Live action says me too, 3,215.25.
That's a good winner. With a micro? With a micro 5 lot? 3213. So you got 10 points. And how does it work again?
Uzi Knesset says JB having a good Xmas lol.
50 times 5. So $250. That's good. It's actually kind of funny thinking about, because we did have some of those moves on last Friday were like $200 moves on one contract, but that was like,
no mini 5 lot.
That was like, oh, it was a mini 5 lot. Wow. Gutsy. You know what, JB, for you're not talking about, trading the E-mini.
It says, oh snap lol.
And having trouble with it in the past, but sounds like it don't scare you at all.
JB says I already 2 off at the 75% target, still have 3 on.
Okay.
Uzi Knesset says boom haha.
So that $2,500 move for you.
Gary Rich says what's a micro lot?
So the micro is 1/10 of the mini. So a mini is $5 a point. And so a mini is $50 a point. And he essentially got 5 points. So he got $500 a point. A little bit more than that, actually. And then he had 5 contracts. So it was $2,500. Probably a little bit more than that, though, right? Well, we shouldn't praise him too much until he's completely out, right? We won't want him to get overconfident and screw up the exit. Although I think that
he's going to lose
he knows
another
exactly
one
what
if they
he's
pull back
doing.
to that 3,223 75% level again.
I gotcha. So if they go back to the 75% level, then you'll take another one off, and otherwise you'll hold it until it goes
just
to
took
the other
another
one.
one of my stops.
I'm noticing though, there
says still long too.
There is without question, there's without question some liquidity building up here, right? If I can, like, I'm just thinking from the perspective for me, if I had held that and tried to let it ride, would I be thinking about getting out here? Well, I think that I would have wanted to get out here before the open, but because I just don't like the open volatility, right? But I'm also looking at this right here. Can you see that? Let me do it with a different color. You see that? Oh man, that doesn't even work either.
JB says my stop is at 3,220.50 now.
Oh, you know what? I have to do...
Gary Rich says at JB, are you in some of those other Discord rooms?
You should post that in the E-mini. Here, you guys can't see it. Okay, this. Do you see here? Some liquidity stacking above it.
JB says no, Gary, I only come into Seth's room.
I think he was referring to the different channels on Discord. And there is this little bit right here and this little bit right here. So that to me kind of suggests that there was liquidity up here. They weren't able to get through it. Now some people have some downside
says
targets.
yes, I see it.
But that doesn't mean that they won't bounce off of this. They could bounce off this and go through it.
JB says my 5-minute bar already told me that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing is that I'm thinking you did that first one, and then it was a pretty good chance that they were going to come up in that 22, 24.
Gary Rich says, okay, I thought you were another JB.
Anyways, so I'm thinking I don't really know the E-mini behavior, so I'm just taking note of it now. Should that have been my exit? If I'm trying to read the order flow, is that 32.24?
JB says just got an inside bar up there at 940 bar.
Yes, I see that. The inside bar with the bottom of it being 32.22. But we wouldn't sell that one, right? Because all of the hourly and everything else is up. In fact, I hypothesize that maybe you want to buy that spot. But I think if we were going against the momentum, then probably our probability here at this spot is maybe doesn't make sense.
JB says if it breaks the bottom of that, I'm going to F-flatten.
Well, we can, once this is done, let's backtest that particular scenario, shall we? So I'm pretty sure that that if that breaks, that is, I don't know. When I was backtesting it, it was telling me some bad things about when you take those the opposite, but we were having those problems, so I never tested it again after we fixed those order entry problems. Okay. Well, let's pull up the thing.
JB says I'm flat. Gary Rich says, Seth, what's your definition of momentum?
I don't know. I don't really have a definition for momentum other than it looks like it's moving. I don't have like a a programmatic definition at the moment, at least. I mean, I could think of a couple of different things, but okay. So which one was it? What did I call it? Inside bars. That's right. Okay. So hold on a second. Let me update this. I'm going to comment this stuff out and copy it as the original. Copy this one. This one should be really, really bad. Okay, so if I just trade opposite the hourly direction. It's just avoid. I want chest. Okay. It's kind of, I don't want to cover everything. Okay. So we're going to do our inside bars. We're doing them on 5-minute bars. 5-minute bars. Need tick replay on. We'll do from just December. Just December, because otherwise it'd take way too long. Oh, and we need to use which template should I? Oh, the CME index futures 3 sessions, I think, is what we should use. Okay.
Our FO trader says short S22.25.
Okay. So our RFO went short there. Ooh, you caught good momentum when it went. So RFO does not only just take the fate of the momentum. I think that, I mean, even you getting, what, 2 points there is good. Like that right there. Boom. 2 points. Look at it go. Yeah. So if you go long, it kind of works, but that's because the E-mini is always long.
Our FO trader says top of the range winking face.
If you go short, the 80 trades. You don't catch much, though. That's interesting.
Lucas says, will you short again? Lucas says 035.
Oh, in the 10-year? It doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. It's actually curious, especially here in the 5-year, that I pushed it up there at 0.97 and no real interest in it. So
Lucas says, come on, I need another couple lots to help me hold.
to help you hold it short 0.35. I'm just wondering, John, that seemed like when that bar failed, that it really failed, you know? But I think that taking it right at the edge doesn't make sense. But maybe if we were to say break of the inside bar 32, 20, 50, perhaps, and you go short there, it seems like a good trade. But I'm wondering, how often does it go down and then, okay, so like right here, it rushed down and then it's back to the bottom of that bar, which was 32, 22, 50.
JB says that inside bar?
Yeah, wait, the chart. So there's an inside bar from 32.22 and 32.24.
Gary Rich says, I guess the PCE isn't going to show big inflation, but GDP is going decent.
And the parent was 32.22.50. And when they broke that, there was a pretty good down move, but it's come back. So I'm wondering, how often does it do that? So you get this
Lucas
sort of a
says
thing
we have
like...
some important numbers at the top of the hour, right?
Yeah, it was a good point.
JB says you can't really get short there. The 60-minute bar had just opened and was still pointing higher at that time.
Right. And this is kind of where I'm getting, is according to the backtest that we just did, it's definitely unprofitable to sell the break of this. But when you do, it doesn't go very far. No, either way, it only goes like 8 ticks. Not even that. It was giving me between 3 and 7 on the 80 times that it's happened this month, at least. So that suggests to me that even though that was a good spot to get out, if you missed it, there's a good chance of it coming back to that spot anyways. If that makes sense. Did that make sense? Yeah, I don't know, Lucas. I'm not getting any kind of an anything in the 10-year. I guess if I was still short 0.3, maybe I would be like, it could be 10 minutes here. I don't know.
JB says I only exited because I had my stops at the bottom of that 60-minute bar at 3,220.50.
Gotcha. Oh, on mine, it does not show it in the same spot. Well, I guess I need to set it up with your templates. CME, US Index Futures, Quant Edge, and CBOT interest rate. Okay, so let's try it. So you're saying use those trading for the 60 minutes?
JB says so was being greedy, didn't want to give up more than I had to.
Yeah. That was a good one. But that edge that we were seeing where it really looked like the sellers held it there up at the top, that was a pretty good read. I don't know if it was worth it going short there or not. We'd have to watch that and see if we can even identify those areas. Because I've certainly seen something like that before in the E-mini and thinking, oh, it's going to hold, and it didn't. So we'd have to keep track of some numbers like that because I have no way of programmatically seeing that.
JB says no, at the time the bottom of the current 60-minute bar was 3,220.50. It's lower now.
Oh, I gotcha.
Gary Rich says at JB, what are your stops like? Example 1 point with 4 or 8 tick stop.
Yeah, that's a good question. Your stop is like the bottom of the parent bar, right? Which in on a 5-minute basis is going to tend to be 8 ticks. So let me try changing the template on this one. My 60-minute CME.
JB says the bottom of the previous 60-minute bar to get started.
What do I have to do to get it to recognize the new templates again? Tools. Trading hours.
Air Cages says hello, what did I miss?
Hey, Air Cages, we got a little winner. What are you gonna do? I forget. This happened last time, and I forget how we fixed it.
Gary Rich says generally a 1-point profit with 2-point or so stop. JB says so, when I got long after the news my stop was at 3,210.75. Live Action says lol, I just turned to look at your feed and you were running your cursor up and down on the ladder, freaked me out, I am still positioned. Lucas says at Air Cages Seth's parrots placed a trade.
In my parents placed the trade.
JB says F5 reload ninja script.
On the chart? Reload ninja script. Data series. No. We have 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Do we need to come into the ninja script editor and compile?
JB says you said you were having trouble applying the template.
Yeah, it's not showing up in the list. CME US Index Futures. I have the 3 sessions one, but it doesn't show the new one that I just added.
JB says not for a template.
Now, how do I get it to reload the templates? Because the new one, I put it in the folder, it's not showing up.
JB says what name are you looking for?
So let's just, here's the interest rate one. Okay, CBOT interest rate. So there's 3 sessions, but not the Quant Edge one that we added. Same one, this one is not there. It's compiled. I could restart NinjaTrader, I guess. Even he formed an inside bar again. So I wonder if this news breaks the high, is there going to be another?
Gary Rich says just need Trump not to tweet and freak the MKTS out. Options will be just fine. Go baby go.
Well, that's the whole thing is I think that that maybe it went higher than some options wanted. So I'm wondering if the news pushes this up here to the high of the E-mini again, is there going to be more
JB
chaos?
says, did you put it in the correct folder?
Yeah, good question. So I put it in Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Templates, Trading Hours. And there it is. That's the right folder, right? Yeah, I think so. It might be one of those things where like I have to rebuild the database, you know? Tools, database management.
JB says okay.
Update trading hour templates.
JB says, so maybe you have to restart Ninja for the program to recognize it.
Yeah, well, let's wait until after the news. We'll try that. Okay.
JB says, no, don't do that.
So for personal income, we're looking for spot
Gary
3.
Rich says we are getting a lift on the indices partly due to good news, managers adjusting their books, and tax selling for wash sales.
Yeah,
Air Cages says, Seth, has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like trading?
Oh, okay, that was the most confusing sentence ever. Was that intentionally supposed to be? Okay, so here's the poll. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, a little bit of selling in the E-mini. Or sorry, in the 10-year. Okay, I'd like that right there. If I could. Personal spending month over month in line with expectations. That's spot 4. Personal income. Oh. Personal income was spot 5 versus an expected spot 3.
IQ says their ZB goes 2 extra ticks lol.
I'm not going to go more than that. Consumer sentiment, inflation expectations, 2 spot
JB says
3.
S running again. Gary Rich
Consumer
says I feel
sentiment.
everyone here or visits trades in their own unique way.
Yeah, that's true.
JB says or just churn.
It looks like just churn. I felt like the treasuries should have gone a little bit more than that, but 4 ticks is not unreasonable, so. There's a stack right there at 20, which is kind of interesting. Personal income being at spot 5 is really interesting. Like, really, really interesting. Okay, let's restart Ninja. It gave me an exit right there. See that? I took it, and then it immediately gave me an exit. So I need to find a way to get it to store that information some way for it to cache it. Surely NinjaTrader has some facility to do that, right? Okay. Let's restart NinjaTrader.
IQ says 435 sitting at 13 ZB.
Maybe they're going to go now.
Gary Rich says S needs to break above 3,222 to see a long until, so we'll look for short entries.
Okay, so look, there was a little sweep right there to 22. So I think that I got what I need today. But that should be a buy. Well, hold on a second. Let's see if restarting made the trading hours show up. Yes, it did. Well, that changed things a little bit.
Lucas says Seth.
Yes, Lucas. I tell you what, Lucas, you've been a very long time viewer, and I really appreciate having you around.
JB says it should be, but I'm done for the year.
Yeah, JB's got the same thing. I'm looking at it.
Lucas says, is this the last streaming day until January?
No, it is not. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go and make this right now. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make one for Monday. Copy and create. And we're going to call this one Viewer Discord Voice Chat Session. So that's what we're going to do on Monday. All right. On the 23rd, starting at our usual hours, I will be in Discord. I won't be taking any trades that day, but I will be in Discord. And in Discord, if you come in here, there is a voice channel down here. So I will be in this general channel and we can chat on stream. And I think that that'll be fun. And we'll see how many people we get. We can do different things. Like if there's only a few of us, then we can just kind of have it be like completely open.
Lucas says sounds good.
Cool. If not, then I can do something where like I'll just unmute one person at a time or something like that.
JB says that long and S off 3,222.00 worked for a few minutes, still positive barely. Gary Rich says if Monday is the last stream of the year, Seth should drink eggnog, wear a Santa hat, and drink alcohol.
Eggnog. No, never gonna get me to drink alcohol. I'm telling you, I think that because I'm ADHD, that any kind of habit forming substance is dangerous to me. So you will never catch me drink alcohol ever. Or any other drugs. Especially not smoking. I bet you that if I started smoking that I would never be able to quit. And you notice a lot of traders smoke. It's a good way to relieve stress, I'm told. Anyways. Oh man, if you guys haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. We've got 5 so far.
JB says thumbs up for the Santa hat.
Thumbs up for the Santa hat. I don't even know if I have a Santa hat. Yeah, we should have put that tree over there in the corner. I remember the first year that I streamed because it was around Christmas time, and the way that the computer was facing was you could see out into the hall and you could see the tree in the hall.
JB says good way to bake your lungs too.
Oh yeah. You know what though? Like, so one of the things I've
IQ says
noticed,
smoke what? Cigars lol.
when I was at raves, when I was doing the DJ thing, before you go on your set, it doesn't make me nervous to get in front of people. Certainly not
JB says how
anymore.
about an ugly Christmas sweater?
I don't even know if I have an ugly Christmas sweater, but it definitely didn't make me nervous to get in front of people. But I would still be like shaky, you know. I guess I'm
Gary
a small
Rich
guy.
says Seth, I bet if you hang out with me, I could get you to do some of those things. I enjoy partying, but we might need
But
bail
we
money.
might need bail money. Anyways, so I would always be a little shaky before
JB
shows.
says sure you do.
And then everybody was always smoking, and I would catch some of the secondhand smoke.
JB says everyone does.
And it would be like I would catch one whiff of the secondhand smoke, and my hand, I wouldn't shake anymore at all. It was like, oh, like I immediately knew. I was like, okay, that's what nicotine does to you. And it only take a little tiny bit of a whiff from secondhand smoke to immediately make you feel more relaxed. That was the moment that I said there is no way I will ever smoke, because I would not be able to
Gary
break
Rich
that habit.
says I wanna buy that Walmart Santa cocaine sweater. Lol.
Walmart Santa cocaine sweater. Man. Cocaine, wait, let's look that up. Walmart Santa cocaine sweater. Is it that one right there? It says let it
JB
snow.
says this long at 3,222.00 is starting to blow.
Yeah, did you take it?
Gary Rich says it's hilarious.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. You know, so I'm glad we agreed that it was a long. I didn't take it. It sounded like you didn't either. I find it interesting. It definitely
Gary
worked,
Rich says
and then
yes.
and then it's already failing. Well, it's not failing. It's just like, what? You could have gotten 22, 23.25. You could have gotten 5 ticks off of it.
JB says no, I'm done for 2019.
I gotcha. Good. Yeah, I think on this one, to me, part of the reason that I was hesitant to take it was because of the supply up here. I was like, I don't know if they can get through that supply, so I don't know if that the risk reward here is really worth it, right? Like on the reward side, maybe I get 8 ticks, and on the if it fails, it's like, ugh. I actually kind of like the idea of waiting. And if it breaks 32, 20, 50 on the downside, maybe selling that. But it's also options expert. Well, and the other reason why I was a little
JB
cautious.
says 3,223.25 doob top and an inside bar on the 5-minute.
Yeah. That the other reason why I was a little hesitant was because there was news, and the news did not move the market. So if it's, you know, a period where a lot of people are thinking about not stopping trading for the end of the year.
2-1-2 reversal.
2-1-2 reversal. Oh, I get you. It's interesting that they formed another inside bar.
JB says doob top. Lol.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
JB says double top.
32.23 at 25. Doob top. It's a doob top. That's what we're going to call it from now on, because it's not a real...
JB says I should spark up a doob.
Because it's not like a double top. Because a double top would be like at the very, very top of the day, is what most people would think as a double top. You know? But no, the fact that we had the news, and then the treasuries came back to 03, that to me is like, okay, I guess we're done for the day. Well, I was thinking there was something else I wanted to do. Yeah.
Gary Rich says I can't stop trading. I have child support payments with my Colombian cam models. I have 5 kids, ROFL.
With Colombian cam models? Is that a thing?
JB says right, but that inside bar that topped out at the prior bar's high suggests they didn't have enough juice to continue higher there.
Yeah, you're right. So from your perspective, if you had taken that one and then it came back to your entry, would you have scratched it there? Yeah. I mean, that's not like baked into the strategy per se, but situationally that seems like that would have made a lot of sense.
JB says so call it what you want, double top, or not they're done.
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to call it a doob top. Right here. I'm saying, show you.
JB says prior bar's low.
I'll make it all big so that you guys can see what we're referring to.
JB says from your entry.
That right there is a doob top. Okay. Now, if it had come up to here, right there, and then that would have been a double top. But because it's just two bars next to each other and they both hit there, that top, that is a doob top. Oh, what's this risk on? Risk off all out of nowhere?
Lucas says we still have another short opportunity, Seth. Last of the session.
No, you're right. Well, I said short at 32.2250. They're kind of there. They kind of broke it a little bit and came back. So I'm not sure about that one. But what are the treasuries doing? No, I don't think that is that it. Rabobank says, is Pelosi aiming to drag impeachment in hopes Democrats flip the Senate? So this is this really bizarre. Oh man. So the theory is you withhold impeachment until after the election.
He disliked your video. Can we get the name?
That's okay. Listen, whether you like or dislike, again, if you dislike a video, then you personally are less likely to get the videos recommended in the future. But it still counts as engagement and helps boost the post.
JB says on a 5-minute chart, 3,220.75 should be your stop for the entry long at 3,222.00.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the strategy, I think normally you would stay long until 2075, but in that situation, I think it would have been right to just. But I guess that there was that situation, it was right to just not even get in, and we saw that and did it that way. What is going on here in the E-mini or in the treasuries? Why do I always say the wrong instrument? Have you noticed that it's regardless of whether I'm talking E-mini or ZN, I always get it wrong. What is with that buy in ZN? Maybe some options stuff? That was just a really strong move up.
Live Action says ZT moved whopping 5 ticks since cash open. JB says kill the losers when they're young. They never get better with age.
I love it. I love it. I've never... Did you just make that up, JB? Did you just make that up? Because if you just made that up, then we're attributing that quote to you. It will move up more if ES retraces more, but targets very close, maybe 08 in the best case, and hit 05 main target, and already there, so maybe game over.
JB says words to live by. Lucas says that sounds like a pro-abortion banner.
Oh man, Lucas. I'm wondering, have you guys had buffering problems again today?
JB says ooh.
So I think JB is a few seconds delayed. You should just hit refresh on the tab. So 156.01 is an interesting spot in the 30 year.
JB says outside 3 bars forming on the ZN 60-minute bar.
Oh yeah, I never changed that one over. Let me fix that. No. You would have said that before it happened, huh? 040.
JB says broadening formation underway.
Yeah. They broke
Gary
it out.
Rich says S in the last 15 to 30 minutes is only 3-point range too tight for me.
But that might mean like trying to get into it long at this point might not necessarily make sense. How long has that order at 08 been there for? That's been there all morning. So they might rise up into that. I'm not seeing. Remember, you guys were saying you take the reversal trade when you see the orders add in here, and we haven't seen that at the moment. And I'm not seeing an overextension here on on the 1 minute bars at least. So maybe we would continue up to 07.5. The E-mini is now starting to maybe look a little more bearish.
JB says, do you have the 60-minute boxes on your 5-minute chart in ZN or ZB, Seth?
Yes. So we should fix. I should use that for the. I should use the template session template for those too, right? 60-minute. I would change that from the 3 edge to the quant edge one. Look at that go. Okay, well, they did take a step back. I don't know. It looks like there was a good trade that we missed. And we would have missed either way because, I mean, man, when it came back up, it looked like, oh, it's just maybe we should quit for the day. That was a curious move. But maybe some of all of this, we've had kind of weirdness going on. Maybe it's just because
JB
of
says for the 60-minute data series, yes, but keep the 3-session template for the 5-minute candles.
Okay, gotcha.
Gary Rich says at JB, when you watch the 60, 5 minutes, do you execute off the 1 minute?
I've been executing off of the 5 and 15s, but you know what, John? You should put any of that stuff that you're willing to share, like at the very least the session templates. You should put those in the download channel of the Discord. So
JB says no, off the 5 or 15.
Yeah, I'm trading the 5 for the 15. Not 1 minute. I suppose maybe you could do it in the ES. You know what I need to do? How should we do this? I'm going to do it with this one.
JB says, I'll make you a deal.
Okay.
RFO trader says potential range scalps ZN.
Now our RFO is seeing it. Huh? So RFO, that stack at 2286, is that enough for you to say that behavior you were talking about yesterday, where you'll see stacking on both sides, and that kind of is where
JB
it
says
starts
help
to
me
range?
get that latest indicator I mentioned built and I'll load the
Oh
entire
yeah,
package
no,
up there.
totally. We're totally going to work on that next week. Here's the thing. I have all next week. I might take some days off. We'll see. I might just work all those days. But I'll still be here in the morning. I have 12 videos that I could possibly record. So I'm definitely going to record at least one every day. And then we can work on the things. And then I have the weekend too. So I might do that this weekend. Because I don't really have a whole lot of other stuff going on at the time. It's kind of funny because I remember last year we had all of this stuff to work on, and I was like, well, I don't know if I can do it now. And it seemed like it was a lot busier back then. I don't even remember what the things were, but right now it's like I'm sitting here like trying to figure out what to do with my time. Can you believe I was playing last night? Because my wrist was still too iffy to press with, so I didn't go to the gym. And I played League of Legends.
Says that JB try the 15-5 and execute off the 1, might see better signals and entries for very fast scalps. RFO trader says I only worry about the numbers when price comes to the areas I'm interested in.
Oh, okay. So that's a little different. There was something about 070 that you knew already that there was a reason for it to possibly range in that area. Okay, so did I make the new chart?
JB says to be honest Gary, I'd be happiest entering on a 60-minute chart. JB says and holding for the entire day.
Okay. I want to try something in the E-mini. I want this, but I don't want it to be a minute. I want it to be... Should I do 15 seconds or 30 seconds? Let's do 30 seconds. Open, we need different instrument. Of course, ES. Okay, 30-second chart doesn't look bad. Cool. Unfortunately, it's going to be hidden behind my face, but I will show you guys from time to time what it's doing. Donald Trump had a very good talk with President Xi of China regarding our giant trade deal.
JB says, but I agree with your suggestion. At Gary Rich, I prefer looking at charts that are a factor of 5 larger than each other, like 1 and 5.
Cool. China has already started large-scale purchases of agricultural products and more. Formal signing being arranged. Also talked about North Korea, where we are working with China and Hong Kong. Progress in quotes. That was 3 minutes ago. Does that correlate? 8, 7, 9, 12. No, it doesn't. This move up in treasuries just seems to be related to positioning, I'm guessing. But I really can't explain that one, not even with the delta and everything.
JB says 2 and 10 works well too, emo.
Cool. So I had another thought, which was, maybe we can test this next year. With this everything that I'm doing, what if we don't count the inside? What if we don't count the inside? Because the majority of stuff is going to be on the inside. And I suspect that what you could maybe do is only count these outside orders and then fade them.
Gary Rich says at JB okay. I execute off the lower times because I'm adding to my position and then scale out when I see minor trends changing.
30-second bars seems to look okay in the E-mini. Although, I don't think these large bid, large offer ones are going to be terribly useful. We'll just leave it there for now. But maybe I will get rid of these two and replace it with one that is everything but filtered based on how far away it is. Donald Trump wants S&P at 3,300 by year end, says zero hedge. Maybe. That did seem to help it, didn't they? But here they're coming at the resistance again. Let's see if they have trouble with it.
RFO trader says scalp long S22.40. JB says is Winston's mom still here?
Good question. She usually comes back and leaves comments on the video, so you can always leave a comment for her too. Like after the video is done, when I end the stream, and then it re-encodes it, and then you can leave comments on it like a regular video.
Gary Rich says she might be walking the ferrets.
Walking.
JB says ask her to post that sprinkler thing she used to fool the robo speech.
Oh yeah, that was great. That one was just like tus, right? I think she was just saying TST. But with spaces between them.
JB says right.
Right. So here's a thought. If the E-mini breaks a new high, are the treasuries going to come back?
Winston's mom says hello. Did someone summon forth the mother of ferrets?
Summon forth all of that.
Lucas says it will come back into its range for sure.
They want you to post the sprinkler thing. Do you remember that? That was a while ago. That was like last week, wasn't it?
Lucas says not for sure. I'd be short then.
Not for sure, I'd be short then.
JB says there are lots of ways to do it, Gary. I trade online with a guy that likes to scale in and out all day long in NQ.
Oh yeah?
Winston's mom says sprinkler thing she used to fool the robo speech coming up. Just a sec. Gary Rich says S can't break 3,222, hit it to many times resistance up there.
Well, they got above the doob top. They got above the doob top. Do we have a signal when a doob top is broken? Yes, that's a bid right there. Look at 32.2375 in the E-mini. 1,300 contracts traded. They're
JB
pushing
says
it to the
I prefer
high.
to put my position on and manage the trade by taking some off on the pullbacks and pauses.
So that one day, the first day that I tried trading with the inside bars, every time that I got another inside bar broke out in my direction, I added onto it, and that worked out really well. But it was a really trendy day, that particular day. So just right there in the E-mini. Let's make it big. So I don't have a whole lot of data to work off of, but already that's what we want to see, right? It's a counter move, huge increase in people. It should reverse, and it did. That's the edge. If I can get the edge to work in the E-mini, that
Gary Rich says at
really...
JB, yes, I was taught the same add and scale out trading long time ago. Order flow helps with C liquidity to keep me in longer.
If that starts to work on the E-mini, and I can combine it with everything else that we've been doing in the E-mini that's been working really well, I could just trade that. At least until a recession comes. I've been wondering, so do you guys, when you're on YouTube, do you get a lot of recommendations for other trading channels? Because I will, if I see another trading channel, I'll at least click on it. I usually don't watch the videos though, because man, I don't know, maybe I'm just like full of myself, but I always find the content that other channels put out to be boring as all get out. It's just like, well, a lot of it is equities based, which I just don't care about individual stocks anymore. It's just not, I mean, I do care about it, but it's just not a very interesting subject to me at the moment. But then it's just, I don't know, like to me, I'm more interested in trading.
JB says technically, that long we discussed at 3,222.00 should have had an initial stop at 3,219.25, the bottom of the current 60-minute bar we entered on after the 10 o'clock Eastern Time news.
It wouldn't have broken.
Lucas says not me. Lately I get a lot of recommendations about jet pilots since I watched the last Top Gun trailer and some scenes on how they filmed it.
I got those too.
Gary Rich says, Seth, it's not a hard technique to learn, it just takes time to adjust your analysis.
Anyways, so I will get those recommendations, but I just don't. And so I've been thinking, because when I started this, I did not see anybody else on YouTube. Like literally nobody else. Like we were one of the first people that were in. It kind of seems to me like what has happened is I got in first. A bunch of people have followed us, but then they were doing equities, and two, they're doing this like, oh, you made X $100 in 5 days and get into the algorithm that way. And so they've leapfrogged us. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, there is way too many YouTube channels about trading. It makes me a little uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying? Do you see that at all? Now, I don't see them about in futures. When it comes to futures, it's basically like me and Futures Trader 71 and Anthony Crudelli and nobody else. And we actually get, it's kind of interesting because Anthony Crudelli gets a lot of views, but like not as, he doesn't have as dedicated of a subscriber audience. It's kind of weird like that. But like when you look at some individual views, we actually get pretty similar numbers to other people in the space, which is kind of cool. But I think it just shows you that the future space is super tiny and tight. Basically means that a lot of you guys that are watching me, you know,
Gary
like
Rich says,
huge
Seth, there
overlap.
are tons of futures channels. I follow one guy in Mexico who trades S.
Oh yeah? Well, now I have seen, now let me take that back. I do get recommendations for a lot of other channels that are doing futures and that are trading like ES, but they usually don't have the same numbers. Like they look to me like very, very new channels. I have literally never seen, okay, so there's the treasuries breaking 05 half. Maybe that's a short. Maybe that's the better trade right now. I mean, we could take the mini long, but I think that the better trade is the break of that. Now, okay, except for that it caused a lot of an increase and stuff, so they might fiddle with that price a little bit. Anyways, I have literally never seen another channel where somebody's taking live trades and they were trading primarily with the DOM. Literally never. I don't think I've seen a YouTube video in months other than my own that had DOMs on them. Which is kind of sad, to be honest, but, whatever. You can trade with charts. You can make it work with charts.
Lucas says, I think it has to do with the fact futures have more transparency. You get to be shady with stocks, OTC, pink sheets, whatever.
They were saying, I've read a lot of stuff from people claiming that the Warriors trading guys just pump low liquidity stocks.
RFO Trader says order flow permitting may have your scalp longs 4.55-ish CN. Winstanzamom says my sprinkler goes like this and comes back like
The ultimate guitar has the ultimate funny text-to-speech ultimate comp. Oh, is that going to might be one of the last ones?
Ultimate Guitar has a funny text-to-speech ultimate comp.
I'll show you guys. I'll put it up here so you guys can see. I gotta be fast here. So if I go...
JB says perfect.
Or... does that...
Gary Rich says yes. Seth, that's how I found you when you first started. You are one of a few who shows DOM like you display.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary. We'll always be using a DOM, I think. Is it going to read it? I guess it's a little delayed. Like, I got the message?
Speculator Seth says STS.
I'm getting waterboarded
Gary
by
Rich says I'm getting waterboarded by Wiston's mom.
Oh my gosh, that's sadistic win. Oh my gosh. The interface is slowing again. Hold on. As soon as I do it, it's probably going to stop. The thing that's interesting about the way that my thing works is that the server part doesn't trigger it. It's the GUI part that triggers it. So when it comes in, it has to send it over to here and then have it come back. And for some reason, the GUI part sometimes gets slow. So you can see here, Winstan's one Splish Splash, Gary Rich is taking a bath. And then I come, it hasn't read it yet. That was sadistic. Oh, man. I feel good. Yesterday, I don't know why, but that one trade ending the way that it did, even though I didn't lose any money or anything like that. In fact, I think I actually came out on top yesterday. It was really disheartening to me. And there wasn't a whole lot going on at work yesterday. Oh, I shouldn't have closed that. Why did I do that? Oh, well. There wasn't a whole lot going on at work, and I was sitting there like, man, I just am having a really hard time getting interested in anything right now. It was a little depressing. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe it's just, I didn't catch a winning trade that day, and that's why I'm feeling down. JB says Seth will always use the DOM. He's resistant to change. Well, yeah. I tell you what. There might be situations where I will take signals that aren't based on what I see in the DOM and everything, But I will always execute orders on the DOM. I don't get how you guys use those chart traders. That to me is scary. I like the ability to be able to say this is where I want it and click right there, and one click and I'm in and out and all that, and I can see exactly what's there's just no better way to execute. Seth, do your coworkers know about your alter ego trading life? Yes, I do. I don't think that many of them really care too much though. Like I've shown them the channel. I bet maybe they've said, "Oh, let's look up Seth's channel on YouTube," and checked it out. And then they probably watched it for about a minute and realized that it was boring as all get out and left. You know what is funny is we've actually had people come in from my old job at Goldman Sachs and told me that they've been keeping tabs on me, and they watched for a long time too. And that made me super happy because I tell you what, there was some people that I knew at Goldman Sachs, like mostly the people that I met in the training, like that started with me, that I really liked, and I will always remember. Now I don't talk to as many of them so much anymore because like I knew most of them on Facebook, and they're all in New York, and everything on Facebook is politics, and so we all just kind of like tune each other out. But I really like those people. So smart. Medium, what com has an article. Did you know about building a chat box on Reddit? I had to chatbots with Google Dialog will build a fun Reddit chatbot in 30 minutes. Okay, Seth, I'll watch my potty mouth just in case you can go to HR. No, you know what? When I had to figure it out all on my own. Luckily there was a good API out there, and that always makes it a little bit easier. But the thing is that YouTube, their live chat API is awful. It really is kind of nonsensical, really. Like normally you would want to have a webhook or a a socket, so that every time that there's a new message, it'll just send it to me. Instead, I have to pull their service, and then they don't give you enough requests to pull the service for a reasonable amount of time. I'm hoping that YouTube makes big changes to their API in the coming year. Like they've been saying that they're going to make some changes to streaming, and I think that might mean some increased gamification type of features like what Twitch has. Because Twitch has all this stuff where it's like you can highlight your message, and when you watch the channel you get points, and you can use your points to highlight a message or to use a special smiley. And if you donate, then everybody in the channel can potentially get a special smiley. And all of the streams on Twitch have all these things where, like, okay, when somebody subscribes, it shows a cool little animation, or if somebody, and all of these sorts of things. Everybody can subscriptions in Twitch is like you pay $5, and otherwise you just like the stream. And there's that separation there. And in YouTube, you can have a paid subscription, but you have to be a large enough channel to have those, which is kind of dumb. But it's just fun. Like, to me, it's like, and when I watch those streams and that stuff is going on, it's like you want to get involved. And I think that would be cool and would really help YouTube out. So I think that they're going to add those kinds of features at some point. And then hopefully when they do, we'll get a better API. But until then, the API is pretty crappy. But I think that my problem, we could look at it. We're 8:47. We could look at it really quickly here. Oh, no, we don't need that one. This was another thing that I was working on. There's my clip thing. Open. Did I put it in chat or an app? must be in chat. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so add message data, console log, set state, message data, scroll into view, console log, send message, emit, send message. No, wait, there's somewhere there's like a read message. That's not it. Where is it? Oh, it's on the small one. There's the chat and there's the message. Yeah, there it is. Read message. This state. It should do it immediately. There's no queue or anything on this site, so I don't understand why it gets so slow. JB, need to step away if you're gone, Seth. Have a great day at the salt mine. Yeah, I will. Hey, thank you. And I'll talk to you if I mean, we could maybe do some stuff on Monday, but if not, then I'll talk to you on like what is it? Thursday. So. So I'm wondering what I need to do is I probably just need to come into here and there's this messages thing, this messages array, and I probably just need to like only track the last 30 messages and then after that I need to start popping them off. 32, 27, 75 is still a legitimate target. You know, I'd be willing to take it if it wasn't so late. Bye, JB. If we do not see you again until after the holiday, Merry Christmas. Yeah. So for those of you guys that I don't see on Monday, Merry Christmas. Okay, so we looked at that. Now I need to post my cryptocurrency notes. The 20th Bitcoin. Did we have continuation of that move from yesterday, by the way? Okay, it's just kind of settling there. That's kind of interesting. Dum bum bum ba-dum. It's Friday. The treasuries did come down there, but they already pushed back up. And where's my E-mini? There it is. We never really got a good indication of much of anything, to be honest. Gary, have a great Christmas. Giving is always better than receiving smiles and happiness. You know what? Like, I've been trying to figure out. I have to force my wife to make a decision on something that she wants because she's like, I don't know what I want. Because we just buy it, like what we don't make it a surprise. I know what I'm getting for Christmas. Anyways. All right, well, you know what, guys? If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Good day today. Pretty interesting action. What should we call today? Equities roar higher into quad Wicher Friday. We did okay today. I don't like to try and force my videos, like the popularity of the videos, based on how well we did or didn't do, though. So I'm just going to try and give it an accurate read. Team effort Friday. It really was. You know what? You guys have all said stuff that was useful today. RFO Trader, you've been around for a week, and I've really enjoyed having you around. So keep coming back. I love it. And seems like that you have a lot of stuff that you could teach us. I'm still, man, I've had some good times, but I still need lots of work. Although most of my work is probably on the mental side. But I also think that, if there was a little bit more edge in what I was doing, because it's kind of like I'm sitting there with like a teeny tiny little bit of edge, and then you have the poor mental edge, and then it doesn't work out. Maybe if I had a little bit stronger of an edge in what I was doing that was more consistent, maybe it would be a little bit easier to build up that mental edge, But I don't know. It's interesting that I wonder if you took it short, if you'd gotten 07, 2 ticks, I suppose is okay. But that move up was really weird. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen a move that I was that clueless about, Like normally I can come in and I'll be like, okay. I couldn't see it at the time, but now I can see that X happened. I've been in and out of the room for a year. Hard to trade for you when you're hosting, yeah. Well, and I can't even I don't always catch everything that everybody says too, which I apologize for, but I always find it useful, even if it's like after the fact, right? But I don't know. To me, the things that I always find useful are like, because everybody's going to have their own strategy, and they should be trading in their own strategy. But that's why the things that I think that people should focus on, and what I encourage people to focus on in the Discord at least, is like, what are you seeing right now that's unusual? What are you seeing that's unique about today? Oh, okay. It's a really slow day. It's a really high day. There's a strange divergence between these two instruments that you don't normally see, right? Those are the things that I think tend to tell us more about the market, and I find useful. And you've been posting a lot of things that are kind of more of like, okay, well, here's what Seth is doing, but here's something about that maybe would be good for you to know. And it has been useful. That's an interesting sell in the 5-year. I don't know if it's enough for me to be too concerned about, but maybe they come back. I don't know. I do kind of still like the idea of it trading back to 04, but who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe 05, half 05 was fine too. Okay. Well, I shouldn't get too hung up on it. So again, we will have I've already created the event for it, but we'll be here on Monday. We'll be in Discord. So if you've never stopped by the Discord or used Discord, now would be like a good time to get in there and figure out how it works and get your own voice working with it, so that on Monday we can chat, and then we'll be like, right in. Hope my input has been taken as positive and constructive. Absolutely has. Yeah. And then yeah, on Monday, you know, we can talk live, and so maybe that would be really useful too. Normally it's too distracting, but since I really don't think the market's going to be doing a whole lot of anything interesting, we can do that on Monday. All right, so I'll see you guys then. Oh, let's show you guys the Patreon subscribers. You subscribe to the Patreon, you get daily Bitcoin charts. Very useful. I really appreciate we've had those subscribers now for 2 years. Some of these guys, actually most of these guys, for 2 years. So really appreciate it. Might be starting to put some more stats on there. We'll see. So again, I will see you guys Monday. And if not Monday, then I mean, if you're not able to come on Monday, then we'll see you at the start of the new year on the 2nd. It does Bitcoin look bullish? I don't know. I'm kind of not. I don't want to touch it during this. I don't want to trade anything during this time. But hey, you know what? It looks manipulated, and they could probably move it any way they want. So your guess is probably as good as mine. All right, time for me to go. I will see you later. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.